Let's add some fuel to the fire on the Batson Sessions. Why not? If Mark Batson himself can stoke the flames, then why can't we here on the morning show with Anthony? On Instagram yesterday, and I'm looking around and I see an Instagram post from Mark Batson. He's on a private jet with Dave Matthews and a couple other people. And this is following the massive leak, 33 tracks. We have it for you at wehm.com if you haven't heard any of the tracks yet. We have all 33 tracks up there. And we have the story behind the sessions. Essentially, they got leaked. We have the whole background on how, if you want to go back there and check out that past morning show vlog. And it was 2 discs. One had 17 tracks from the spring. One had 16 tracks. That got us to 33. There is apparently a third disc that's out there that I think nobody really knows, but I think some of the theories that were batted around where those were even smaller, not even finished tunes. None of the songs were finished, I should say that. A lot of the songs were still just demos and ideas. The second disc was a little bit more finished than the first disc. The first disc was really just basic ideas. Second disc had at least some more members on them. Some of the songs on the first disc, it was just Mark and Dave in the studio. Later on, you hear Carter and the rest of the band. But that's where we're at. So we do have a third disc that's out there that's possible to be released, although people think that those are just even smaller songs, 30, 40-second bits and ideas. So we'll see what happens there. But again, Mark Batson is just stoking these flames here, puts on Instagram a photo of him and Dave in a private jet with the caption, "Had to go grab my friends for a drink and take them to dinner to discuss the latest round of internet insanity. Turning back around in a few and heading to LA tonight, so let's turn it up. Hashtag Dave Matthews Band, hashtag Batson Sessions, hashtag Insanity, entertaining ideas on next steps." That's the line. Entertaining ideas on next steps. What the hell does that mean, Mark Batson? Are we going to get the release of that third disc? Are we going to get the band going in there and finishing off some of the tracks that we heard on the leak and putting that out in great detail? What is the next step? What are those next steps that they're entertaining? I can say that overall, the vibe from a lot of fans is that they love the Batson Sessions. I think they're pretty good personally. I think there's a lot of great stuff on there. I think there's a whole album's worth of material. Easily, you can find 10 songs that didn't make Come Tomorrow and put them out fairly quickly. Something that we discuss on the morning show with Anthony all the time is the fact that are we really heading towards an industry of music where you're getting albums versus, you're getting 2 or 3 EPs a year instead? If you go back and you check out our morning show vlog with Collective Soul, they mentioned putting out a double disc in 2019 because they're celebrating their 25th anniversary. So they wanted to put out 25 tracks. And they were discussing whether or not it was going to be a traditional double album or if they were just going to slowly drip out in EP form, 5 songs, 6 songs, 7, whatever, all throughout the course, pepper in all throughout the course of the year. Put out a single, have 4 songs behind it. There's your EP release, for the first quarter, second quarter, that kind of a thing. So we're heading towards a world where EPs are being discussed more and more, especially by the older traditional bands that existed and operated in a world before we got to the current state of streaming that we are right now. You have some of these legacy acts like Dave, like Collective Soul, reaching farther back, the Stones and the Beatles, of course, Paul and all that stuff, that are acquiescing to the way some of the younger bands are. Your Jade Birds, your Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, some of these acts. So that's interesting. So we've been talking about that a lot on the morning show with Anthony. We've been saying that that's kind of where the world's going. Bruce Floor, who is heavily involved with the Dave Matthews Band, he just released this whole thing about how, bands and labels and things should be going more towards the EP. So it's kind of interesting that we get a leak from Dave Matthews, and then we get somebody high up in Dave's world that's talking about the same things that we've been talking about on the morning show, which is releasing more music more often in smaller doses. And now we get the producer and the star of the band on a plane together talking about entertaining ideas on next steps. Like, how long would it take for them to go in there and finish up those sessions? Probably not too long if you're only going to put out 5 songs. You know, maybe a little bit longer if you're going to put out 10 songs. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see. Dave Matthews Band has a fall tour, indoors, primarily East Coast arenas, and then they just announced a March-April run in Europe. So certainly January, February seems to be available to the band after the holiday season, and maybe they can go in and figure some of this stuff out in a relatively quick basis. It seems weird that we existed in a world where we waited 6 years for a Dave Matthews Band record. We got it. I love it. And then just a few short months later, we have leaked sessions from 12 years ago that involve some of the, early demos of some of the songs that wound up on Come Tomorrow. And now we're sitting in a world where the producer of those sessions is Instagramming pictures of him and Dave going, maybe we're entertaining the next steps. I mean, I think this is a no-brainer, slam dunk. Put them out. Finish them, put them out. They're already out there. That's what's interesting about 2018. We live in a world now where you can't ignore the internet. You can't ignore the masses. We can't go on and pretend that we didn't get these sessions. Dave Matthews Band had a big leak with the Lillywhite sessions years ago, and that was a little bit different because it was actually really difficult to come across those sessions. Like, I remember downloading them, that one stung, this one stung, and I wound up getting a great copy physically from somebody, and that was my go-to copy. But it was hard to come by. It involved work. The Batson Sessions, like I said, like they're up on our website right now. You can go listen to them. It's easier to find, so more fans are aware of them, than not. Again, you can't, what do they say? You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's kind of like that thing. We got them. Finish them. Give them to the fans. I say give them to the fans for free. It's worth it. It's worth it. We already got it. Might as well give it to us for free. But I could see if they want us to pay for it. That's cool too. Either way, there's some good stuff on there. Fans are reacting. It's obviously getting back to the band. It's obviously getting back to Mark Batson. So next step, let's get him out to the people. Let's get him finished, and let's get him going. We will continue to follow this. It's one of the big stories of 2018. It really is. Fleetwood Mac firing Lindsey Buckingham and the lawsuit, big story. The lawsuit with Steely Dan has dwindled a little bit. Hasn't been a lot on that, but it's a big story. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame noms are always a little bit of a to-do and all that stuff. But really, the arc of where the Dave Matthews Band has come, to the allegations against Boyd, to him leaving the band, to getting a new record, to now a leak, like DMB has become the story of 2018 so far in the music world. So we'll keep following it. If more happens, we'll let you know.